On November 24th, 1971, an ordinary businessman walked into Portland International Airport carrying nothing but a black briefcase. He wore a dark suit, a white shirt, a black tie, and dark sunglasses. No one gave him a second look. He bought a one-way ticket under the name Dan Cooper, boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305, ordered a bourbon, lit a cigarette, and quietly looked out the window. Everything about him seemed completely normal, until he handed a flight attendant a folded note. She smiled politely, assuming it was another passenger trying to flirt. Without reading it, she slipped it into her purse. The man calmly leaned closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "Miss, you better read that note." Her smile disappeared. Her hands began to shake as she unfolded the paper. Only one sentence was written inside. "I have a bomb." Within seconds, an ordinary flight became a nightmare. No shouting, no panic, no threats. Just one calm man who was about to pull off the most famous unsolved hijacking in American history. The flight attendant slowly unfolded the note. Her face instantly turned pale. "I have a bomb." She looked back at the man. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't nervous. He simply opened his briefcase, revealing 8 red cylinders connected by wires. Whether it was a real bomb or an elaborate fake, no one on board was willing to find out. The captain was immediately informed. Within minutes, the aircraft changed course towards Seattle. But Cooper wasn't finished. He calmly listed his demands: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting after landing. There was no shouting, no panic, no wild threats. His voice never changed. That calmness frightened the crew more than anything else. As the Boeing 727 descended towards Seattle, police officers, FBI agents, and reporters began surrounding the airport. No one knew how this flight would end, but everyone knew history was about to be made. After receiving the money, Cooper ordered every passenger to leave the aircraft. One by one, they stepped onto the runway. For them, the nightmare was over. But 4 crew members remained. Cooper had one final command: take off again. Fly south toward Mexico. Keep the altitude below 10,000 feet. Fly slowly. Leave the landing gear down. As the Boeing 727 disappeared into the dark night, only the crew knew what was happening inside. Cooper tied the bag of cash to his body, put on one of the parachutes, and walked toward the rear staircase. Rain pounded against the aircraft. The wind shook the cabin. Then, a warning light suddenly flashed. The rear stairs had been lowered. Somewhere over the forests below, D.B. Cooper was about to make the jump that would become one of the greatest mysteries in American history. The moment D.B. Cooper disappeared into the storm, the largest manhunt in FBI history began. Hundreds of agents, police officers, soldiers, and search teams flooded the forests of Washington. Helicopters searched from the sky. Dogs followed every possible trail. Divers searched cold rivers. Every inch of land was examined. Investigators expected to find a body, a parachute, or at least the money. Instead, they found nothing. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Every new clue ended in disappointment. Some believed Cooper had died during the jump. Others believed he escaped and started a new life under a different name. The FBI interviewed thousands of suspects, but every theory eventually fell apart. It was as if D.B. Cooper had vanished without leaving a single trace. Years passed, but the mystery refused to die. Then, in 1980, a young boy made an incredible discovery. Buried beneath the sand along the Columbia River were bundles of decaying $20 bills. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. It was the first real piece of evidence, and also the last. No one could explain how the money got there. The rest of the ransom was never found. Neither was Cooper. For more than 40 years, the FBI investigated thousands of suspects and followed countless leads across the United States. Every suspect, every theory, every confession ended in another dead end. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case. Not because they solved it, but because there were simply no new answers left to find. To this day, D.B. Cooper remains the only unsolved skyjacker in American history. No one knows whether he died that night or disappeared forever with the money.